Welcome to Believe in the Dream with your host, RJ Horner, life architect and beacon of leadership. The show where we help you discover your purpose, design your path, and do the work to live the life of your dreams. Each week, we'll explore the mindset, the principles, and the practical steps that turn dreamers into doers and vision into reality. This is Believe in the Dream.
Welcome back, Dream Builders. I'm your host, RJ Horner, and this is Dream, Believe, Achieve, the podcast where we don't just talk about inspiration, we turn imagination into action. So before we get going, let me ask you a question right out of the gate. And I want you to answer yourself honestly, even if it's just you in your head. I want you to answer this question. When was the last time you allowed yourself to dream without editing it? Not the safe dream, not the responsible dream, but the dream that made your heart beat a little faster. Because we think in vision, we think in what we see in our eyes. And that dream that you're seeing, the one you see again and again, is the vision you're meant to create. Today, we're diving into one of my favorite and most important and probably misunderstood topics, the power of a dream and why everything in your life starts with imagination. Because before anything becomes real, before it becomes visible, before it becomes profitable, influential, or even impactful, it begins in the mind of someone who dared to imagine more. Think about it. The Wright brothers imagined human flight at a time when people said man could never fly. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Yes, that Walt Disney, before he built a global empire rooted in wonder, creativity, and belief, he created this magic world for us. Even something as simple as your smartphone in your pocket was once considered impossible. Someone imagined a world where information, connection, and creativity could live in the palm of your hand and refused to let that idea go. And here's the part I really want you to hear. Your dream carries the same creative power. If you are seeing this dream again and again, it's because you were meant to create it, right? You are the person who is meant to carry it forward. And look, it may already have been created on some scale or another by someone else, but that doesn't mean this isn't your vision. This isn't something you are the person to carry forward just because someone else has done it. You see, imagination isn't child's play. It's not wishful thinking. And it's definitely not foolishness. I learned this the hard way because my son used to have such an imagination. And I used to beat that imagination, not physically, but the things I said were taking that imagination away from him, right? But imagination is the workshop of creation. Imagination are the things that could come to be. Every invention, every movement, every business, a book, a breakthrough was once invisible until someone believed in it long enough to bring it to life. Before something exists out there, it must first exist in here, in your heart, in your mind, in your imagination. But here's why so many of us get tripped up. We don't struggle with imagination as children. We struggle with it as adults, right? My son's imagination to me was something that it was silliness, right? It was him playing around. And because I say, don't think like that. That's silliness. That's, don't talk about that foolishness. And so I took that away from him. I took away his imagination. And who knows what he might have come to be if I'd allowed him to nurture that creation. This is why I've learned this lesson, because I've learned it the hard way, right? My son could have been a whole lot more. My kids could have been a whole lot more if I didn't try to beat this imagination away from them. So somewhere along the way, life teaches us to shrink our dreams. Be realistic. Play it safe. Don't get your hopes up, right? Do these things sound familiar? I can't tell you how many times I've had a powerful idea, only to hear that little voice inside me whisper, yeah, but who do you think you are, right? Let me be honest with you. I've talked myself out of dreams before they ever had a chance to grow. Time and time again. I've negotiated my vision down to something more comfortable, and I've confused practicality with fear. Look, here's why I come to you with these lessons, with this podcast, with the event series that I'm creating. I want to be the next teacher. I would like my name to go down in infamy. Among the teachers I've learned from: Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Zig Ziglar, Wayne Dyer, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie. These are some powerful names who have gone down in infamy because they've begun to teach. This is where I want to step forward into that realm. And this is why I'm doing these lessons with you, right? Because this is my dream, to carry on the vision and the words and the message that has been instilled in me through so many amazing teachers. So now it's my turn to step forward, even though they've done it before, even though they've proven the concept, even though these people are the names to go to when you want to learn about something powerful, about personal development, about growth, about enlightenment, about sales, about positioning, branding, right? These people have done it already. But that doesn't mean I can't do it. That doesn't mean I can't step forward into this realm and still build my platform and become the somebody I want to be. That's my dream. I've always wanted to be a teacher, but along the way, people are like, well, who are you? Well, and start calling me nerd and start calling me things like, start saying things to me that beat down that imagination, that desire to be somebody. I wanted to be a architect after that, but my parents couldn't afford the tools. I knew I could never afford university at the time. So that dream as well went away. It went to the side. It never became anything. But now here I am. And that's why I call myself a life architect, because I am a teacher. I am empowering you to build a better life. I am helping you build your life by design. So I'm structuring your life. You're structuring it, but I'm the guide and I'm the teacher who's walking you along on the path. So maybe you've been there too, right? You've imagined this something big that you're supposed to do, but then reality stepped in. Bills showed up and we have to pay the bills. So we get a job and we live in this job. Responsibility showed up. Other people's opinions of you showed up, or the thing you wanted to do. And suddenly the dream felt irresponsible, right? It felt like something that I can't afford to do. I can't take myself away from this to go do that, right? But here's the truth I learned, and this changes everything for me. If you can imagine it, it's because you're capable of becoming it, right? God would never bring you to the thing if he couldn't bring you through the thing, right? We are brought here for a reason. That dream didn't come to you by accident. It wasn't random. It wasn't a tease. It was an invitation. And the real question isn't, is this dream possible? The real question is, am I willing to grow into the person who can carry this dream? Because that's what it matters. Can I become the person who will take this dream forward? Let me share a quick story. There was a season in my life when I knew I was called to lead and teach, but I didn't look like a leader on paper. And I certainly didn't sound like a person who people would follow. I didn't have the platform. I didn't have the audience. I didn't have all the answers, but I had a picture in my head. I could see myself speaking life into others. I could feel the energy of a room transformed by belief and the words that I've shared with them. I could imagine people walking away clearer, stronger, and even more confident from what I've shared with them. That vision kept showing up quietly, persistently. And here's what I learned. A dream doesn't ask for permission. It asks for commitment, right? That's why imagination is so powerful. When you allow yourself to see the clear future, your behavior starts to catch up. You start making different choices. You start saying yes to growth and no to distractions. You begin aligning your habits with your vision. Imagination becomes your direction. So let me give you something practical, because dreaming without direction is just daydreaming. So here's an exercise I want you to try right after this episode, or even pause this episode and try it right now. Close your eyes and picture your dream life. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you serving? How are you serving? What are you doing right now? Is it empowering others? Is it teaching people? Is it serving people? Because that's the dream, right? To serve other people. And then how does it feel when you live that life? Because that's the key. And here's the key question most people skip. Who do I have to become to live that life? That's you may see it on my arm. I don't know if you see it, but I have tattoos on my arm. And it says, why not? As in, why not me? Why not now? Why can't I do this? But right below that, it says, what will it take? What will it take to become the person who can carry this dream forward? See, I've asked myself these questions. In fact, I put it on my arm as a reminder that I can accomplish this. I just have to become the person who can take this and carry it forward. Because dreams don't just change your future, they shape your identity. And now let me leave you with this powerful truth. Your dream is not just about you, it's about the people you'll impact. That's why I say leadership is service. The lives you will influence, the doors you'll open for someone else. When you choose to dream boldly, you give other people's permission to do the same. Your imagination becomes a lighthouse, guiding others towards what's possible. You are a beacon and guiding light, helping people to see the brighter possibility and walk them towards a safer, more reasonable path. So dream boldly, my friend. Dream unapologetically. And don't let the world talk you out of what your heart knows is right for you. Because imagination is not the end of the journey, it's the beginning. I remember my wife we wanted to go on vacation for a long time. So our first ever vacation, my wife said, I got tickets. We can go to, see the cruise lines out in Belleville, which is, three hours away from us. And I thought, if I'm going to go 3 hours, okay, we can get a hotel and stay there and come back home the next day. Or we can go see the cruises, and then we can continue further east. We've always wanted to see the East Coast, go to New Brunswick, go to Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. So we decided, let's make a driving tour out of it. Let's see what would it take. What would it take to take the next step in that journey and make it something more? That's what the dream is all about, right? What is it you desire? What is it you want? And then what will it take to create it? Who do I need to become? So this has been Believe in the Dream. This has been Dream, Believe, Achieve. If this episode inspired you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that their imagination holds the key to their future. And don't forget to subscribe, because next week we're continuing the Dream, Believe, Achieve journey together. Until then, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep becoming the person you need to be.
Thank you for joining me today on Believe in the Dream. Your dream is not just a wish, it's a calling. And the life you were meant to live is waiting for you to believe it, conceive it, and achieve it. If today's episode inspired you, share it with another dreamer who needs that spark of encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. It helps us reach more people who are ready to build the life of their dreams. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and remember, you are the architect of your dream.